See, I would say that probably the best way to do that for illiterate or uneducated people would be you would have to, spend some time with that group and get to know them, and you need to find out what's important to that group, and then whatever your goal is, your awareness goal, you would want to relate it to what's important to them. If they're illiterate, then either they aren't aware that they need to be educated or they don't care that they need to be educated. So you would have to find a way around that and relate it to something that is important to them. Then they would come back around and realize, that they might need to educate themselves on whatever the agenda was.
The obvious way to solve that is visually. Give them visual cues or visual. A lot of times with training, when you've got people that speak different languages, the easiest way to communicate with them is through a visual process of how to go about doing something. So I would say a visual approach is really the only approach when you've got the literacy issues, because you don't have any other way to communicate with them.
Okay.
Other than spoken word. But again, you come up with language and translation issues and things like that. So I think you may be able to meld the two together, have a training combined with visual.
3 dash.
There's not much of an option. I guess if it's advertising, obviously you're going to want things like billboards, like getting the message out there, and you're going to have to work mainly with, I guess, with visual, like just showing pictures, I guess you're going to have to break it down into really simple steps. Obviously, it's a simple process, which makes it much more complex than someone might think. If you're looking for an example, I don't really have one off the top of my head. I guess just pictures, sticking with that. Showing people in very similar situations that might account for the political or whatever the social problem is, and I guess showing maybe the more how would I put it?
I'll look at it.
Showing really positive reinforcement with these pictures, showing people what they should be doing, how they can for example, if let's say it's about transportation, you want a better a city transportation, show people riding the bus, show these people smile, happy.
Very carefully. I think if I were to approach that situation, it would have to involve a certain amount of relationship and trust building before or as you go through the process. The fact that they don't understand that the problem exists makes it more difficult. You have it all the time in class, in a classroom setting where the students don't understand what they don't know, and it's a similar situation in the real world. So I think somehow you have to build trust to be able to convey that, or it won't be received.
Pictures. Common language for everybody. Through pictures. Absolutely.